So we are back in the lounge doing a little bit of decorating, I guess you could say. Some more lime washing. We've been sanding back the walls to remove any bits that were introduced by the brushes, and it all looks quite nice now. And we just have a few more bits to do before we're going to call this done. We've done 2 coats on all the walls apart from the big one next to me, so that is what we're going to work on today.
And I'm going around and doing a 3rd coat on some parts of the wall where there is discoloration, which we're not too sure what's caused by, but I'm hoping that a 3rd coat will fix it. Though now that I've started, I'm not so sure.
But funnily enough, this video isn't actually about lime washing, even though that is what we're doing. This video is really just an experiment. We bought some new microphones recently and I'm testing them out, and I didn't want to just plug them in and turn them on and go, yeah, that looks like it's working. I wanted to do like a real world test. So we've got a receiver on top of the camera. We've each got a little microphone clipped onto us. I don't love how, I mean, they are quite small, but I don't really love how it looks, but you know, I probably will get used to it after a while. But hopefully you can hear us all perfectly, whether I'm standing right here next to you or if Kylie is far away with her back to us.
Sorry.
You should be able to hear. Sorry.
Sorry, got my back to you, sorry.
Fair enough. So yeah, this is a real world test of the Rode Wireless Go 2. And the good news is it's worked. Because if you're watching this, then I've actually bothered to edit it and put it on the internet, which means it has worked. Although I have no idea at the moment. So well, I guess I will find out later, but you already know.
I was just going to inform the lovely people who've been following along with our crazy lime wash journey a little bit about the lime wash situation, which is the discoloration that is happening here is the same discoloration we had in the kitchen. Now the kitchen we did 3 coats and it's still discolored. The plaster should be well and truly dry, but we think this discoloration might be something to do with the hemp. Not too sure. But the interesting thing is, in here we did some hot lime wash that had cooled down, and we've also done slaked lime, i.e. lime putty that we made ourselves, that we then turned into lime wash, and there is no difference. So all these people who say you must use lime wash and put it on the wall hot, I'm not convinced that that is correct, or at least in our experience, there's no difference. And so we are now continuing to use slaked lime from Christmas time that we are now taking out and adding water to and diluting from Calviva or from quicklime, not from hydrated. So yeah, there you go. That's just the update on the lime wash situation.
But this video isn't about lime wash.
I know, I just thought in case anyone's interested, because we are lime washing, I would just, do that quick update.
To be fair, I think people are probably much more interested in the lime wash than they are in my microphone.
That's probably true. I mean, I'm more interested in the lime wash than your microphones. I'm just tired of you moaning about, microphone issues.
One of the things that would be funny about this whole filming with a wireless microphone is if I happened to be filming somewhere and you went to the bathroom.
Yeah, that wouldn't be funny. I can already tell you that this third coat is not covering these discolorations, whatever they are. That's,
I can also tell you that this mix feels very different to yesterday.
why?
I don't know.
You have to know why if you think it's different.
At the same time, it feels both thicker and more watery, which of course doesn't make any sense at all.
Right, has your stuff in your bucket separated already? If so,
No, it hasn't.
No? All right.
But I can also see much more clearly where it's going on the wall.
Right? That's what I was going to talk about.
Okay.
Is because our walls are dry, when we did the utility and the kitchen, they were not as dry as these walls are. And I can see what's like the walls look cream where I've painted, or beige even, I like beige, and where I have not painted, there's still the white. And I can definitely see. So it's not like painting white on white. Yeah, I know what you mean about the thick stuff.
Yeah,
Thick but watery. Every now and then I have to wipe my brush on the side of my pail to wipe off the thicker stuff. But it is the same slaked lime that I created the second batch from the other day.
Okay.
Where we got NHL on the bottom of the wall also is really kind of stained, which might get covered with skirting tile when we put it on. And certainly we're behind furniture, but...
Do we have any conversation that is not about Limewash or building?
Not about building. What? What about conversation about videos of building?
Videos of building? Well, I guess that is at least slightly more on topic for a microphone test video.
So next week we're going to do this ventilation work.
Ah, yes.
We need to talk about how we're going to film it and how we make it interesting, because us
it's
crawling
not.
around in the loft with reels of ducting, I don't think is going to be that interesting.
Might be funny.
And it's very dirty and dusty up there, so we're going to come down looking like, I don't know what.
Well, it's 9 degrees this week, but next week is much cooler.
Oh yeah, next week's like 16 and 17, which is why we've chosen to do it next week.
That is good planning.
Yes.
So just, can you give me the brief overview of what the work is, and then I can have a think about how we might position that from a video perspective.
All right, so if I just run through the series of steps of what
just
would be...
very high level.
Yeah. So we need to test all the floorboards above the bathroom in the loft.
Just to make sure they're not going
to see if they're safe. Yeah. Any that need replacing, we need to pull up and replace. Then we need to overboard the whole section above the bathroom with OSB.
Yeah.
Then we need to work out the location of the grey boxes and the actual ventilation unit and the holes through to the outside, so the input and output.
So we need to work out the location for all of the equipment.
All those, yeah, exactly, so that we can put the grey boxes in the correct locations, because the ducting connects to those grey boxes, and I want the grey boxes to go into their final location.
Do you have any idea of how much flexibility we will have on that in case we don't get them perfect?
That depends on if we leave the ducting a little bit long. But the connecting pieces that go from the grey boxes to outside are fixed length, I think, and can be cut.
So we can base it off of that.
Yeah,
I think you
exactly.
can cut them.
I think you can cut them. I'll have to double check, have a look.
Cool.
So there's that piece of the kind of the sighting of the equipment and the boxes and whatever.
Okay, important, but so far not an interesting video concept.
Exactly, no.
Which is fine, we'll get there.
It's just quite functional.
Yes.
Then we need to cut into the floorboards and make a hatch where the ventilation ducts are going to come down to the first floor through the service cavity.
Yeah.
And similarly, between the ground and the first floor, we currently don't have any OSB boards or any subfloor. We need to work out how many pieces of ventilation ducting are going to go through there and work out how we're going to do that to seal between the two floors. And then we can finally run the ducting to all the locations down here.
Okay, cool. So from what you've said that I've mostly been listening to and not focusing on my lime washing at all, it sounds like the actual work isn't that interesting conceptually, but it's an interesting thing that we're installing, as in it's not that common.
It's a big part of our story.
It's a big part of our damp proofing solution.
And I guess from a user's perspective, there's a couple of interesting things, which is how difficult it is to retrofit a MVHR system to a building, particularly a stone building or any other kind of old building. And then the other part is from in Portugal, a lot of houses have damp and mold and all humidity issues.
Yeah.
And this is hopefully a good solution for that. But we could also talk about other solutions like a PIV system that we have no experience with, of course, but we could mention them.
I think there is also opportunity here for, not in a video, but in a blog post on the website, makedogrow.com, if you're not familiar. But yeah, there's, I guess, some good information about, what is MVHR. It's not the kind of thing that we really want to dwell on too much in a video of us doing it.
We are not experts at all.
No, because we're not experts, but we can speak from our experience and the research that we've done and kind of distill it into some simple terms that other people might find useful.
Yep.
But from a video concept perspective, I think it's very obvious that we will film the work that we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, we'll film us up in the loft, scratching around, wearing the overalls or whatever it is. And we will, show running the ducting and all that kind of stuff. But I think the thing to talk about in it more is this idea of either the question, is it going to be the ideal solution, or
will it even work?
Or will it even work? Yeah.
Because
but focusing on that kind of, we're putting this in because it's potentially an excellent solution to reducing damp, humidity, moisture, and creating a good air environment inside your home.
Yeah, and I'm less about the good air because we have good air here in Portugal.
Well, the air outside is amazing. Yes.
Yeah, it's more about the humidity control, damp control, whatever. And also for me, I don't want to have to run around every day and open
all the windows. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think there is an interesting point there about, MVHR is used in many newer builds, so passive houses and other, where it's planned from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think there's that question of, how easy is it to retrofit?
Well, yeah, I was going to say that's the other, the thing that's different and interesting, which is most old stone farmhouses in Portugal, and in many other countries, to be fair, don't have these things in them, and they don't fit very well because the rooms are quite small and the ceilings are sometimes quite low.
Yeah. So that's definitely a big talking point.
Yeah, exactly.
But what's even more interesting, I think, from my research is I found almost no examples of old houses saying that it worked and helped.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I'm basing
why
this.
Are we putting it in?
I'm basing this purely on the theory that stale air out and humid air out and clean, fresh air in will help. It's no different to opening the window, right? That is
true.
Pretty much. So it should, in theory.
In theory, it should work. So here is a great opportunity for us to potentially be completely wrong or completely right. And that's always quite interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like with a case study. I'm sure there are many other people.
I'm sure there are.
I just couldn't find any documented cases of it. Or there was a couple in some Facebook groups of people saying that they had put them in. I found a lot more examples of people saying they put in PIV systems.
Yeah.
So this is a passive something ventilation. I don't know, it's different. It's like almost like mini split system.
Yeah.
Where it's a unit per room or a unit for a common space. There's no ducting required.
Like okay.
They're
Why aren't
all...
we doing that? Sounds much easier.
Yeah, but then the outside looks really ugly.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true.
And they're much easier to retrofit, obviously. And I think more affordable. I'm not too sure on that one. Because I just discounted that because I don't want the outside of our house to look horrible.
And I guess there's probably even fewer people who have these things and have actually installed them themselves.
Oh yeah, the DIY aspect. I mean, it took ages to find a company that would just supply.
Yes, you're right. And they do fit as well.
No, they do, but they outsource that fit. They don't do it themselves.
Oh, they outsource it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let's stop rambling on, and the lovely people can go and get on with the rest of their day.
Yes, that's probably a good idea because I think we've just been talking about all sorts of
nonsense
for too long.
But we have a video plan, I think, right?
I think I need to write it down to get clear because we haven't really talked about what titles we might use or thumbnail ideas. Because we always forget about that and just leave it to the last minute.
And like I was saying, the social and the short.
And I mean, I still don't really understand shorts, so maybe our lovely people can tell us what they like about shorts.
There's the little birdie chicks again.
Oh yeah, we've got redstart, I think black redstart chicks living upstairs or in the loft somewhere. Maybe we'll find them in the ventilation video.
Maybe.
So this test is about a different microphone plugged into the wireless microphone. So
two
I have
microphones.
No, not two microphones. I've got it's called a lavalier microphone. It's like a small
the
clippy
old
one.
ones of ours,
It's an old one that we've had for ages. But because these wireless ones allow you to plug another microphone into them, then this is just to see what the quality difference is like.
So two microphones.
Sort of two. This one on my hip isn't picking up any sound. It's just acting as a transmitter.
Okay, got it.
But the one that is clipped to my t-shirt is much smaller, doesn't flop around as much. But I am going to do a little bit of painting just to see if the noise, like noise from clothes or noise from me breathing or whatever, is any different.
I mean, a little bit bumpy, but maybe another coat or two and it will be unnoticeable.
And what's funny is earlier I was saying that I thought that this mix was quite different and a bit thicker but also thinner. It's actually now going on really, really nicely,
it's weird,
which is kind of
isn't it?
cool.
And it's not a time thing because, I mean, it's a time thing with the hot Limewash because the longer it is hot, the thicker it kind of continues to get. So
that is very true, yes.
And that's a pain, which would be fine for the outside when you want it to go on thick.
Yes, exactly.
But not on internal walls.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, unless you're trying to paint a cowshed or something ridiculous like that.
Well, maybe some people think that is what our
house
living room is like a cowshed.
Maybe. I mean, that's what they used to use in old cowsheds because it's also a bug deterrent.
Yeah, that's true. Although there's a lot of spiders living in the corners of the walls.
I don't think it's spider repellent.
Not a spider repellent. Okay, well that's good to know. Flecks of stuff I've
Much
introduced.
better, and I don't know why. I wonder if also when you're hot lime washing, because it's warm, it's drying so much faster.
Maybe.
And then you can't see. What did we do in the utility?
We did the watered down stuff and we did like 4 coats.
But watered down slaked lime, right? Wasn't from hydrated.
Yes, it was pre-slaked. So it was essentially the same stuff that we're using now.
Yeah.
But we put it on,
thinner.
I think, a little bit thinner.
Yeah,
we went for single cream. This is more like double cream.
1.5 cream. It's not double cream.
No, I think this is double cream. Although you can't get double cream here, so maybe my reference points are out of date. So this is washing up, yes. It is also,
then you'll be able to wash everything.
It's also the ultimate microphone test, which is the wind, which is the bane of my life sometimes when we want to film outside, because wind noise on a microphone is something that sounds utterly, utterly terrible, and you can't get rid of it with post-production and stuff like that. So we have some intermittent wind, or I have some intermittent wind perhaps. There was a bit of a gust just then. If this works, I will be very pleased. I'm not expecting miracles though, just because it's a very difficult problem to solve. But I have added to my big microphone the fuzzy thing, the dead kitten, if you will, that will hopefully stop some of the wind noise, but we'll see. And now for something that I don't think we ever show because it is so tedious, the cleaning up. And obviously there's quite a lot of background noise at the moment from my hose, but because the mic is so close to my mouth, maybe you can hear something, maybe not, because it is very loud, and I guess I'm having to talk quite loudly to compensate. So I guess we'll see how all this turns out. Just give these a rinse first. And then, yeah, I'll wash these out and then we'll be done. And that. And that. These are pretty good already. I'll just give them another hose out, I think. Oh. There we go. Slightly less offensive to the ears. Slightly less loud. Still somewhat working for a cleaning operation. There we go. The wind has died down a bit now, so that is good. I don't like the wind. Alright. Hopefully that is enough of that. Well, there we go. That's the outdoor test done. Anyway, we are going to stop rambling. Thank you so much if you're still watching, and hopefully you enjoyed the sound quality. Please let us know if you thought it was better, worse, or you couldn't tell the difference. But anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.